Penology Officer Examination. Sample Review Questions Part 3. From the Book of the Jail Officer Keeper of Lawbreakers of Leopoldo Morante, Jr. Remember, these are just sample questions for you to be guided. These are not the actual questions that will be asked during the examination. The coverage of the examinations are A. General ability, 50%. Verbal, analytical, numerical. B. Specialized area, 50%. Comprises of the following: jail management concepts and applications, 15%. Commitment and classifications of inmates, prisoners, detainees, courts and other entities authorized to commit a person to jail. Categories of inmates, classification of prisoners, classification of detainees, inmates, security, classification, requirements for commitment. 2. The United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for the Treatment of Prisoners, Nelson Mandela Rules, and Custodial Concepts, 45%. The Nelson Mandela Rules, 30%. Guiding Principles of the Nelson Mandela Rules. Respect for the inherent dignity of persons deprived of liberty. Medical and health services. Disciplinary measures and sanctions. Investigations of deaths and torture in custody. Protection of vulnerable groups. Access to legal representation. Complaints and independent inspection. Training of staff. Rights and privileges of persons deprived of liberty, PDL, 10%. Rights and privileges of PDL, BJMP welfare and development programs. Therapeutic community modality program. Modes and guidelines of release of PDL. Paralegal services. Bill of Rights, Article 3 of the Constitution and Republic Act 9745, or the Anti-Torture Act of 2009, 5%. 3. Special laws and other related laws, 40%. Salient features of RA 6713, Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for public officials and employees. Salient features of RA 9263. An act providing professionalization of the BFP and BJMP, amending certain provision of RA 6975, salient features of RA 9729, Climate Change Act of 2009. Are you ready? Let's start! 1. Which of the following is not a goal of security in jail? A. To prevent escape. B. To maintain order. C. To protect lives and properties. D. None of the above. The answer is D, none of the above. 2. When transporting inmates, your goal is to safely and securely move an inmate from one location to another. Once you enter the vehicle, which of the following is not to be allowed? A. Never sit with your weapon next to the inmate. B. Keep keys out of inmate's sight. C. High-risk inmates should be seated toward the end of the vehicle. D. If you have a weapon, use a cage vehicle to separate yourself from the inmate. The answer is C. High-risk inmates should be seated toward the end of the vehicle. 3. Which of the following key control procedures to be avoided? A. Always be aware of your key. B. Never put personal keys with cuff key. C. Mix jail keys with your cuff key. D. Notify supervisor if jail or cuff key is lost. The answer is C. Mix jail keys with your cuff key. 4. These are the factors considered in diversification, except A. Age of offenders, B. Sex of offenders, C. Medical condition, D. Mother of offender. The answer is the mother of offender. 5. Which of the following tool control procedures to be avoided? A. Ensuring that all tools are signed out and signed in. B. Trustee. Inmate to supervise in the return of tools used. C. Make sure inmates properly handle tools assigned to them. D. Always keep an inventory of the tools being used. The answer is B. Trustee inmate to supervise in the return of tools used. 6. Under Article 7, Section 10, Paragraph B of the Philippine Constitution, pardoning power is vested with the A. Legislative, B. Chief Executive, C. Department of Justice, D. Judiciary. The answer is B. Chief Executive. 7. What items or articles inside the facility that is considered? Jail contraband. All those that has not been issued to the inmates by the institution. B. All those that has not been purchased in the commissary. C. All those that has not been approved for issue by an appropriate staff person. D. All of the above. The answer is D. All of the above. 8. Which of the following firearm control procedures to be avoided? A strong and secure cabinets should be provided for storage of visitors' firearms. B. Secured armory of the jail must be maintained. C. Visiting officers need not be required to surrender their weapons before entering the jail. D. Except those allowed to carry firearm, no weapons of any kind should be permitted inside jail. The answer is C. Visiting officers need not be required to surrender their weapons before entering the jail. 9. Parole is not matter of A. Requirement, B. Privilege, C. Right, D. Grace. The answer is C. Right. 10. This group consists of chronic troublemakers, but not as dangerous as the super-security prisoners. They are not allowed to work outside the institution. A medium security prisoners, B. Minimum security prisoners, C. Maximum security prisoners, D. Super security prisoners. The answer is C. Maximum security prisoners. 11. Parole is granted by the President, B. Board of Pardons and Parole, C. Director of Prison, D. Court. The answer is A. President. 12. Clues that can alert a jail officer during roving or making rounds in the facility. Towels or blankets draped in front of a cell door. B. Inmates who avert their eyes when looked upon. C. Inmates constantly looking out of the cell door or window. D. All of the above. The answer is D. All of the above. 13. Which of the following common signs that indicates impending trouble in jail, an increase in sick call? B. Increased number of violations of jail rules. C. Inmates organizing into groups or gangs. D. All of the above. The answer is D. All of the above. 14. What kind of contraband were items possessed by unauthorized persons inside the facility violates state statutes such as knives, various homemade weapons and narcotics, a criminal contraband, B, administrative contraband, C, nuisance contraband, D, none of the above? The answer is a criminal contraband. 15. It is an act of grace and the recipient is not entitled to it as a matter of right. A, probation. B, pardon. C, parole. D, none of the above. The answer is C, parole. Have you answered it all correctly? If not, how many scores did you have? Comment it down below. For more sample questions about Penology Officer Examination, hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell button. Thank you and have a great day!